Okay, I'd like to call to order the Westerly Public Schools School Building Subcommittee meeting for Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. The time is 6:03. Members present: Audrey Fobert, Steve Marone, Dr. Mark Garceau, Cindy Kirchhoff, Mike Ober, Mark McKinnon, and myself, Justin Hopkins. First order of business is approval of meeting minutes from May 27th. If there are no modifications to these minutes, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. I think we need to jump right into approval of invoices. I know we have these here. So,
There are invoices.
yeah. First invoice is, so same rules apply. As previously, I'm going to read the invoice. I'll pause for a second, see if there are any questions, comments, concerns about the invoice. If not, I'll ask, we'll entertain a motion in a second. So first invoice, DCC invoice number 33 for OPM services through May 31st, 2026 in the amount of $12,200 for State Street Elementary School at representing 79.88%.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Next, Collier's Project Leaders invoice number 11,83262 for commissioning services through May 31st, 2026 in the amount of $2,233.75 for State Street Elementary School.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Next, DBVW Architects invoice number 2507-03 for architectural and engineering services through May 27th, 2026 in the amount of $28,740.83 for Westerly Middle School roof replacement project phase 1.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. No payment application for State Street.
Nope,
Okay,
they didn't get it into us on time.
and they're aware that,
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay.
There was a $300,000 error on there, so they are in the process of revising it.
okay,
So
because
we'll have it for the next meeting.
we're gonna have a discussion today about whether we're having our second meeting in.
I've warned them on that.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get the pencil rack until Monday.
Okay, just as long as everybody's.
Yeah,
aware.
Dave, I definitely aware of it.
All right. I'm assuming we will cover the ad services action items in owner's project manager architect update.
Certainly.
Okay, so let's, I never went to public comment, but let's move because
There's no public.
there's no public here. Okay, owner's project manager / architect update.
Absolutely. I'll start off with, actually don't have it on our agenda, but Douglas Corners sign is going to be replaced and it's going to be paid for by DBW. So that's in process right now. The sign manufacturer is actually recommending a different product. So DBW is working with them. Right now they have carved plastic. He thinks it would be better as an aluminum-based sign. So we'll have that for the next meeting before we move forward to doing it. We'll bring all the information forward to take a look at it.
Is a layover?
It's a layover. Yep.
The whole sign?
Yep, the whole sign. It'll be correct. Both sides. Yep. So they'll be paying for it now. So we'll get the correction made and it'll be all ready for next school year.
Great.
Over at State Street, we had a meeting last week with the glass installer and it went very well. They're very receptive to the issues with the distortion of the glass. And they already had 2 mock-ups ready to be installed on Monday, which they did install. We inspected them on site on Tuesday. From my limited knowledge of this glass issue, there is the glass has a layer of laminate sandwiched in the center. TSKP, their specifications require a 0.09 layer. This is the distortion is a well-known issue with the thicker laminate. So I'm kind of not surprised that there's problems. So their mock-ups included a 0.06 and a 0.03. The 0.03 is the smaller square window that we had the biggest problem with, and that is perfectly clear. And the 0.06 was one of the taller windows, still had distortion around the perimeter. So after walking out there yesterday and TSKP getting back to us, they are recommending that we go forward with 0.03 everywhere. So from what I understand, the glass will be a little bit thicker to fit the frame, so a little more glass, a little less laminate. But all the windows that are going to be replaced, which are the ones that we picked out, should be perfectly clear.
Same safety ratings and all that.
It'll come up with safety. It's still a laminated safety glass. Yep. Still it's laminated safety glass. So
What was the count? How many did we identify? Oh, goodness. It was a lot.
30?
I stopped counting after about 30.
Yeah, and it's up there. It's up there. But I was impressed with the turnaround that they had the glass ready.
Mhm.
They came out, they replaced it both on Monday. So I think that they are on board to resolve this problem quickly.
So that will all be within the window before students get back, or?
Yeah.
It says by the 15th of August, it'll be installed.
Mhm, mhm. So
Okay.
I just think we're looking to get a consensus that we'd like to move forward with the 0.03. That's our best bet for having, our concern was that some of the 0.06 is almost gonna look exactly the way it is now, so kind of replacing them.
I don't accept that. I'll be on, because here's where this is going. What I'm concerned about is the owner's exposure here. And, to accept that what was installed was the incorrect thing to begin with puts the owner at risk for the replacement of the stuff. I'm confident, based on the conversations that we've had, is that this is all being replaced with, being replaced on the subcontractor and general contractor's dime.
Mhm.
So I think whatever consensus we have is under that recognition that these modifications are an effort to get this into the queue before students get back. I do not buy that there is not a way to do the security glazing without the distortion. There may be with the subcontractor and their manufacturing methods that they were using, but I just, if we are putting our kind of approval on this fix, I want it with a caveat that this is an effort to repair a situation through the contractor and subcontractor.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Totally agree.
Okay.
And to do this once, right? We don't want to have them.
Well, many of the original panels were just fine.
Right.
To me, proving that it can be done correctly.
Yeah, I mean, that was their narrative. I don't say excuse. That was their narrative that when we first met online was that, well, the smaller windows usually have the biggest problem because of the perimeter of the glass is going to be the distortion. Well, the sample was perfect.
Yeah.
And we had small windows that were perfect, and some of the larger windows were the worst. So there really was no consistency with the size or the location. We did have a couple conversations about doing this vertically or horizontally. I think considering the players, if we come to an agreement to move forward with it, considering the players, I think this is the best bet to resolve the problem before school starts, is to go with the 0.03.
What's
And-
on the full-size windows? Are any of the full floor-to-ceiling getting replaced?
Yep.
At a 0.03.
The 0.03.
So I just wonder about like safety, where it can be hit easier and entered easier. And I know there was a safety feature in that
Right.
0.09, so I don't want to sacrifice safety and distortion. Like you shouldn't have to choose between the two.
No, you should not.
But especially with a floor to ceiling window that someone could easily enter, the smaller rectangle ones are harder to enter. But especially on the first floor, I don't know if I'm willing to sacrifice it.
Okay, so, I think what would be helpful, and if we can allow this concern to be addressed with Audrey between now, just to give you a comfort level of
Mhm.
moving forward here.
Mhm.
I'm unaware of what kind of intruder rating, this would mean. In other words, does it take a 250-pound person with a sledgehammer 4 minutes or 8 minutes to breach? Any person that's properly motivated will be able to get through, a window eventually, but the goal is to delay that enough so that the inhabitants of the building can seek refuge elsewhere or exit the building.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I think we should ask TSKP what this means and get this, answer to
Absolutely.
Mark and Audrey.
I'll run back. I don't remember marking up many of the big paints. It was the smaller ones underneath the big ones that we marked up. But the very large ones, I don't remember putting the tag
Well,
on.
we have the ones down at the,
The ones by the stairwell that were double, weren't they?
yeah,
Yes,
by the stairway,
Those are the
the
full.
rear
paint,
courtyard
yes.
there. Those are very problematic. Very problematic.
And just so you guys are aware of where this security film is, it's on the outside face of the interior pane of insulated glass, which means that if somebody throws a rock at the window, the outside layer of glazing is going to break. It's the inside pane that is what provides the safety.
Okay.
So if you, God forbid, you see broken glass out there from a rocket, from a lawnmower or something, it's not that it failed, it's that it's the pane that was supposed to break.
I don't know if you were on it, but John had sent over a narrative on this. I'm going to reread it, and if it doesn't answer what you're looking for, we'll definitely have discussion about it before we move forward, okay? Okay. I totally agree with this. I don't want it to get to the point where we have to talk about spending money for film on this glass to bring it up to the safety rating we need. This should be at zero cost to the owner. No involvement with that stuff. Okay, so that's where we are with the glass update. I think we're in a good place. I mean, it was better than I think we expected, right?
I told Justin, they came in skeptical, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
quickly changed their tune when they started seeing how many paints we were talking about.
Right, I know.
And they were very receptive, and it sounds like they're taking the appropriate actions.
They are, which, yeah. Especially the removal installations is gonna be a cost to them, so. O&G's schedule right now. They have had, a couple of hiccups out there, with the change in manpower. The generator test and startup was today, along with the elevator test off the generator and the TCO inspection, which has been ongoing. I was out there this afternoon, Chief Mackey was out there. There's a intense conversation, so I'm waiting for a further update in the morning from their new superintendent and to let everybody know what's going on, but right now they are expecting to have the elevator inspected the 16th, which so we get to that, so yeah, so as soon as we have that, we should have our TCO. We have moved furniture delivery up to the 22nd, which should be no issue. They're going to bring over the admin furniture first and install that area so that admin can be in place. This the 6th, is that it, July 6th? I believe so.
I think it's 6 to 30.
Over that Monday.
Yeah, after the 4th of July, right? Yeah. So July 6th, the admin area will be ready for you to move in. And then they'll already be working on moving furniture to the rest of the building. And that's where we're at with the two schools. Anybody have any questions on them?
So just by contrast, we were going through the same level of TCO inspection, et cetera, at Duns and Springbrook last year on like August 29th. So,
I remember.
yes.
Yeah, but in comparison, we are trying to get our substantial completion by the 30th of this month. So they Yeah, I mean, there was a point when they were asking us if you could move in April, if you remember, they're gonna be all done in February, so. It's getting a little tense, but we're getting there. So after, some further research and conversations about the ad services for PAR for, Dunn's Corner and Springbrook. Now, a little more information, we had an amendment sent over from DBBW for 4 additional site visits for Dunn's Corner. For PAR to go back and inspect the OWTS system, which is the new septic system out behind the school. And that was all due to towers sequencing. They had the wrong control panel on the pumps weren't working right, they weren't operating correctly of which one was firing when, and
Two different sewage ejector and WPS.
okay,
Sewage ejector is where we have the issues right
you still have the issues,
Yes.
okay. So they had 4 additional site visits for that, and we need to come back for that as well. So those additional field visits above and beyond their contract are in amendment number 2. And they are asking to be reimbursed in an amount of $4,800. Then we have amendment number 3, which is for $2,600 for PAR to return to Dunn's Corner and Springbrook. As you said, they can inspect all the work that was completed after the last time they were here, which was in November, because there has been additional site work that's been completed by Tower since then, and no one has been out from our civil engineer to inspect. So I recommended that they come out one more time and they confirm that everything has been completed correctly.
And the reason why we didn't take this up last time is that at the time, we couldn't validate whether or not the quantity of inspections and field visits were part of DBBW's overall contract, and we've since confirmed that
Since
the amount that PAR is stipulating, or the subcontractor to our prime contract is stipulating, was in fact identified in our contract with the prime designer. So
right. They own 11 site visits, and to date, they've completed 15. So there's additional 4.
and
WPS, and then the additional 2 would be to come back and do the final civil punch list.
And we expect these amounts to be part of the whatever negotiated
Exactly.
completion
right.
of the bill out for Dunn's and Springbrook.
Well, final completion on Dunn's and Springbrook for Tower's contract was December 19th. So considering that we're doing another punch list inspection in June or July, yes, definitely. And the other column as well.
Okay. So we would entertain a motion to approve PAR's amendment number 2 and 3 for Dunn's Corners and Springbrook Elementary Schools for additional site visits in the amounts of $4,800 and $2,600.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay,
Talk about this, we're gonna have some upcoming purchases.
We're working through the identifying the gaps that we might have that we need to make additional purchases for.
Only purchases, but, besides that, it's doing well.
how about the submission of all of the documentation and affidavits to RIDE? Has that already been completed?
F-100, F-105, and all that.
Yeah.
We're all looking at you, Cindy. What do you need me to do? Anything?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Nope, the asset protection.
Yeah.
Updated plan is due on June 30th. Along with our maintenance MOE estimated at that time. And then on July 15th, all of the other housing need forms are due.
Okay, great. Do you need any assistance from us or any motions that we need to do? as part of that? I didn't think so.
I don't think so. Substantial completion, that's what you mean. Absolutely.
And DPW has already signed all of the incentive forms.
Believe they did. Yeah.
We can just verify that.
We've been going back and forth on that. No, they're all signed.
Hey,
Good job.
we're almost there. We knew it was gonna be a quick meeting, but thank you, Chris. You know, Chris was in a building committee meeting. Okay,
Any issues you'd like to talk about? Anything you could bring up?
Just the different changing tables and what that will mean for any, work on the walls.
Right,
So,
the change order, yeah,
Yeah.
fill in the tile.
fine.
Yeah,
It's been a long
absolutely.
day. So that's just something, and I think you guys are looking at the rugs.
Yep.
Okay,
That's
the
on the-
floor.
I've got the list, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That should be good.
Yeah, that price was issued by TSKP. Unfortunately, the changing tables that were specified by TSKP are meant for 3-year-olds. So, so we're going to have one removed from the bathroom since it's really necessary. Two.
One upstairs and one upstairs, because they both have the infant changing table, including the 3rd through 5th grade.
You gotta make sure it's two. I thought it was one. Let me make sure it's two. Give those back to Mark, so you find a place for them. And we're gonna be ordering a much more expensive one, but it'll meet the needs.
There was the issue of the seams on the carpet tiles, is that being?
That's the same process we did with the glass. We're gonna bring the manufacturer out to see,
Okay.
get them to feel our pain.
Exactly.
okay. Anything else regarding these?
No, I'm good, thank you.
I met with the Westerly Police Department about traffic flow for the fall for pickup and drop off. They were talking to town manager Lacey to see if there's a solution and working with the senior center to help get our traffic off the road temporarily through phase 2. Okay.
And how soon do we get cranes picking or machines picking the existing building
We'll
apart?
start July 1st.
Okay.
We have limited abatement now, just the pipe installation, so
So is the abatement starting on July 1st?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
as soon as we get everything moved out of the building.
The durations that the current schedule has for those, have those been updated, well, based on what we know for the
building-
actual abatement?
For the abatement,
Yeah.
no, that has not been updated. I don't think we have the final information from TSKP over to ONG to adjust the allowance. So I assume once they actually formally do that, they will adjust their schedule.
Okay.
But I know it's substantially less.
Mhm.
So it should be, I don't know if they can glove bag it, but a place that is complicated. And so you should be getting the building done a little sooner, and hopefully that means there'll be less there when we start the school year.
Right. Any other questions for Deb? Okay, next item is capital projects update.
We have 3 projects lined up for the summer. The middle school roof, the ductless, air conditioners going in, the split units, and electrical upgrades here in Babcock. All 3 projects are sitting in RISE portal, waiting for some movement on them. On our end, we're not waiting for any movement. We've kind of done what we can to get everything ready for July 1st and hit the ground running. I
Absolutely.
don't know if there's any updates from
No,
Joe's visit the other day.
I talked to Joe this morning. He's talked to Jorge. He told him we're moving forward. And the two smaller projects, Babcock and HVAC, those are in the express portal. There's a much better chance. We're still at DD, we've been 6.5 weeks at waiting for DD approval on the middle school roof. So. We should get that approval soon, because CD documents are all ready to go. They're all the same documents anyway, so we'll get this uploaded. Moving forward.
Okay, any questions regarding CapEx? Okay, item number 8, next. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe this could be for future updates too, but the rest of the 5-year plan, when we had discussions with other committees and members and stuff, they brought up a potential additional bond to cover the 5-year plan. I don't know how we go about bringing that forward, if that's something anybody would entertain, or I look at our 5-year plan and try to get it all through capital requests. But
Yeah.
judging by this first year's rejection of some items, I'm already kind of behind.
I think it's, and I'm open to hear from anybody else. I think we need, I think we need to provide some evidence that, I think our argument is stronger when we start receiving reimbursement, from some of these projects. So my thought process is that if we can demonstrate that through a cycle of reimbursement, that the argument is a lot stronger for our request, our capital requests. And I'm happy to have that persuasion or conversation at the town council level. I'm not sure that we're at the stage yet of a bond.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
think we were, but I don't know if the appetite was out there for it either, so.
Yeah.
But knowing that the 5-year plan was approved,
Mhm.
we've got the reimbursements. If we don't go with the projects, we don't get the reimbursements in the future tax year.
Yeah.
So
Exactly,
just trying to think a
right.
little further ahead.
And this
Absolutely.
timing of waiting through July 1st becomes a little tight
Mhm.
with the summer slammer type of work. So if we had a little funding up front, that would be helpful. But so are you thinking next year,
Well-
this time possibly?
Okay, well, a little funding up front is a little complicated in an annual budget cycle and what our approval.
I was
cycle
thinking that
is.
when I go for my capital request, I'm not doing that next summer. I would get awarded, the funding would be available July 1.
Yeah.
And now we're going through some of these processes
Yeah.
of bidding and awarding and RIDE.
So we've been behind the sticks a little bit in that flow, because we ask for money in the fall. It ultimately gets approved or disapproved or not approved. And we're trying to queue up that work for when that actually funding comes
Right.
online. So ideally, what would have gone through this year's capital request would be for next summer, under that
Yes,
timeline.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I think the finance board, for us, made it kind of clear that they thought this was more of a capital project that should go to bond. And I think there was general agreement with the town council and maybe the school committee that that might be the way to go in the future. But things do change. I remember when the school bond passed, there was a commitment by the school committee and the town council to fund these projects as ongoing capital projects out of the budget.
Mhm.
Things change, but I think right now they're looking at bonding.
But
Yeah,
I think Justice pointed out too,
Yeah.
if they start to see that the reimbursement process does work like we've said it's going to, and we can point to examples.
Yes.
It's more likely to fund from that side as capital request.
I agree, but
Right.
the feeling that I'm getting
Yeah.
is that, and I kind of agree, bonding is the better way to go. It's, you guarantee the money and people are more vested in it once, if they have a chance to vote for it.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to pass a bond, even a popular bond. I mean, even rogues don't get 100%, and,
Right.
everyone tries.
Yeah, but to your point, didn't this happen with the roofs? We staggered, investment in the middle school roof over 3 years of capital requests. First year was approved, second year was not approved, right? At which point we were already, no, I'm not gonna use it.
Right.
We were already,
involved.
we were already
with
prepped,
DPW,
right? So,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
And
so, yeah.
looking at the next phase of the middle school roof being the most expensive one,
Mhm.
technically will not allow any other projects to go forward if I get that approved. So behind the gap.
That means another year for those corner windows.
Yeah, maybe this is a conversation with the finance board, just to get their, like, if they voiced this in their
Mhm.
meetings in the past or their presentations, maybe getting on their agenda and kind of going through what this is and ask for guidance on how we can fund it. Because, I mean, we're not a funding mechanism, we're a
Mhm.
project and need mechanism
Right.
at this, in your seat, my seat, everybody's seat here at this table. So, you know, if they have better ideas, I'd love to hear how we can fund. But how you go through the same process?
Yeah, I'm usually, budgeting in October for summer's too late.
Yeah.
2 years
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Right,
Very nice, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Next steps, is, so I kind of alluded to this. Our next scheduled meeting would be 2025, that's not a good place to be. Would be the 24th. And I know I have a conflict with that, night.
I do as well.
And I would anticipate that being the week after school gets out, that many people would have, a conflict with that evening. So I'm of the mind, unless something is absolutely gotta have it necessary for State Street.
Right.
That we would not be meeting on the 24th. And our next meeting would be July 8th.
Sounds good.
Okay, and what TSKP did send me an updated building plaque for State Street. I have not distributed it to the broader group, but I will do that. So that any updates or any suggested modifications we can take up at the 8th. And hopefully that's enough to put us in the queue, because I don't think we're not having we're having kind of soft,
Opening.
soft openings, right? We're not going to have the full ribbon cutting until we're.
I would wait.
Yeah, perfect.
So we have a little bit of time. I think I told everybody at the last meeting, I'm working on a project that the most contentious issue is the building plaque, and it's been on their agenda since February, and they're still not.
Well, we're working on the second plaque in Newport, because the first one, people didn't like their positions on that.
I'm reminded of, there's the movie The Big Lebowski. There's a scene where the dude is in the Big Lebowski's house and he's looking at all the awards, and he goes up and the wall is so filled with awards that he ended up mounting one on the ceiling because he ran out of space. That's,
Yeah.
anyway. Okay, anything else, for next steps? Anything that you want to see? Anything that we can provide updates on, etc. Hearing none, there is no public comment because there's no public that's here again, so we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So, no.
All those in favor?
Hey,
Aye. Thank you.